that you reply that we have and we'll bring. Get back with you soon as possible.
All you gotta do is go check out my Instagram page and give me a follow. I do crazy shit on Instagram.
All right. All right. She probably got stuck in traffic or somewhere. But here we are. We're gonna start this meeting and hopefully lots of people come. I'm missing a commissioner. I'm not sure if the city mayor is gonna appoint someone, but I have an idea. Yeah, we're starting the meeting, sir.
Okay, we ready when you guys ready?
Okay.
We heard y'all chit chatting over there.
All right. Wow. So I'm not sure when is he gonna pick a co-chair, but I have a suggestion, so I'm just gonna ask for Mr. Edwards. I know he got a lot on his plate and he's gonna have to get off of some of the other boards and concentrate on the committee. But I'm just gonna say because he took Mr. Jones. So that's how I think I'm gonna get that to happen. We have a meeting with Comcast for February. One day, I can't pull this up, but I'm not sure if we're gonna meet here in the chambers or we have another space that we can meet in. I'll be talking to the clerk and see if the conference room is available. And at the same time, the clerk is pulling up all the information about the contracts that we have for Green Cable and Comcast. At the same time, we have a conversation with the school system who is directly connected to Comcast and their franchise with us. So I'm not sure if they're gonna get in on this meeting or not, but my goal is to have conversation with Comcast about all of the people or the entities that are connected with the franchise contract.
Who are they besides school?
That's it, the school and us.
Benton Harbor High?
Benton Harbor High. Well, I think it's area schools, but because Benton Harbor High has a studio already and we sold them the radio station, so they have those two, and I understand that they're gonna try to start working because the radio has just been looping music and they have not did too much on channel 97 because that's their channel. Our channel is channel 98, and there should be another channel, channel 96, which would be a community access channel. So we want to have that conversation with Comcast about all of those very, very crucial means to communicate.
Is there a contract?
There is a contract. Franchise contract. So I don't know if you want to be there or not, city manager. I think it would be a good idea if we can get everybody on board at that time so we can all be on the same page.
Okay. Just make sure you get a date.
Yeah, I'll let you know if I can pull this stuff up. This would be just great, but if not.
I mean, wrong. Sorry.
Huh?
I meant wrong.
Yeah, I know who you meant. I know you meant there. Your assistant. So, I had a conversation with, Officer Clark, and he says that they're working on getting this room wired. And I'd like to see if, what knowledge you have of this.
Oh, yes. I'm aware of it.
You're aware of it? Are you aware that he told me it's gonna take him 2-3 months to take care?
I don't know the time yet.
Is it anyone else that can work with our IT? Because I know that Officer Clark, first job is deputy chief.
Well, I'd like to be able to get Deputy Chief Officer Clark out of IT, and he would like to also. So we're working on that.
You have another IT person that I know that it's at least 3 companies, maybe 3, maybe 2 or 3, that we're actually paying to take care of our IT, from the website on down to our own city servers and stuff.
I have one employee who might be the person, we'll see. But I've got to learn the details of what's all involved in that process. In
Well,
other words, it's in layers.
months ago, when it came out of this committee that we both could be bought and hooked up in this room and would work efficiently. And the former city manager went and bought something that was old and antiquated. It didn't last 2 months. And Clark went and found something that worked a whole lot better. But it's been over a year, and we still sitting here with something that's just a little bit better. And it's really not auto. You can't hear it when you hear YouTube. We got our microphones here, but that one is not picking up in a good manner. And he did do it pretty good where he has a little box on the, and he shows whoever's sitting at the podium there and in the audience and whoever's sitting here. But if you really look real close, Ruthie and myself, Commissioner Harrison and myself down on that end, you just get a little edge of us on. So it's not perfect.
Right.
And it's frustrating to have to wait over a year and it's still not done.
Yeah, that's why we're in discussion about a system that would work better here.
Well,
we don't want to get something that's not going to be appropriate. It's going to fail in a few months.
but is it some kind of time frame? Because personally,
We'll nail that down and have an answer for you.
big time.
We'll nail that down and have an answer for you.
Okay, that's good. Because the people keep hearing us talk about it, and that's not good. Just to keep talking about it.
Can I, as a citizen, have something to say on that? We're trying to get to talk with the cable or whatever it is. Will you be talking about not sci-fi, wideband? Will that be part of that program, package?
I wish we could have a conversation about that now, but we're only gonna be talking about the city franchise contract with Comcast.
Okay. That's when you're talking with Comcast, that's what only thing you'd be talking with them about?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Mr. Mitchell, did you get a chance to hear or see the video of One Voice Now? Did you see it?
I know about it. I talked to him personally.
Okay.
I got a book. The city manager can read it. If he can find time to read it, he can have my book. Cause I got it from the man. I thought it was a pretty good idea too, especially when it came to finding a way for people to vote from home and on their phone. I thought that was a great idea. If they could, that would make it happen. And he's been around for a while, and it seems like it's discussed, but it's like water off a duck's back, especially with Mr. Watson. It was. So now we'll see how we can handle it after that.
Well, that's part of our conversation with Comcast because, it's a public broadcast and Kalamazoo has it and South Bend have it. And so we're gonna try to find some way to partner with one of them, but we can only give Mr. Mitchell so much to do.
I know.
And he's only one person and he's working with a skeleton crew. I understand that. So, we're gonna do as much as we can to have that conversation and include One Voice Now in the conversation. And then once I get enough information through Comcast, I'll bring it to the commission and let them vote on it. Cause it has been discussed for the last 15, 13 years and everybody can see value in it. Back in 10 years ago, wasn't it? Everybody didn't have phones like this. But now everybody, the kids, grandparents, everybody got a smartphone. And if we can allow them to voice anything, any concerns they have or any opinions or ideas, we'd be surprised what citizens could come up with ideas of solving problems for themselves. So we have to make sure that they get that kind of information so that we can they can share with us. So that'll be coming soon.
How does it work there in Kalamazoo or South Bend?
They have a public radio station.
Are they working on the radio?
Wait a minute, public TV,
Oh, okay.
video. So how this works is once we get a database created for all of our citizens, just like you do for the police department when you want to tip, call in for tip.
Mhm.
But this one, you give your telephone number, give your information, and it's a software. And it's gonna cost us a little money, but in the long run, anything that gives citizens the opportunity to get involved in government is the best thing for them.
So it's sort of like a Dancing with the Stars type of thing, where the audience gets a chance to vote for the ones they want.
Yeah,
Yes or no? Right?
yeah, but we're doing more detail. It could be a yes or no question. And we're gonna start out slow. It could be a yes or no question. It could be something that the commissioner is talking about in a committee. It could be anything. It could be just an idea thrown out there and say, what do you think about this, citizen? And they can come back and say, I don't like it or I like it. Or they can actually text us and say, I have a question. Like this meeting could be is being live streamed. They can text us and say, well, what about this in our meeting? And we can answer. So I'm just gonna keep pushing it till we actually do something because just doing nothing is not acceptable.
Well, that's where it feels now, like nothing's being done. True enough, we have that, and I don't know, I don't know exactly how much is getting out to the citizens per that, but citizens need to be more of a voice in everything because once you get 2 or 3 people making all the decisions for everybody in the city, like, it's okay to move the sand, and those people are the only ones that have a voice in it. That's not good. That's not good for somebody like me in particular. So, and it's been going on and on and on for months, where I know the winter, new city manager and all of that. So it's a lot of things slowing the process down.
Well, I'm gonna ask the citizens to get involved in this, to go to onevoicenow.org and look at the video. And if you feel like it's something that we really need to entertain, that you call your commissioner. Every citizen in Benton Harbor is connected to 5 commissioners, 1 in their ward and 3 at large, and the mayor. That's 5 commissioners. So I'm asking them, once you look at onevoicenow.org and you think that it might be a good opportunity for us to advance our communication system, then call those commissioners that's connected to you and tell them that you want this to happen.
Give all of their phone numbers out. Otherwise, it's hard for citizens to get in touch with City Hall, much less a commissioner was at work.
I wonder how serious we really are when it comes down to communication. And I asked that question because I heard the mayor say from months ago that he didn't need media outlets other than his social media, his Facebook, his Snapchat, his Twitter. So like, are we really gonna have the mayor on board with this when he's already saying he don't really need like the black outlet that we have for the newspaper? He came in and kind of tried to destroy that and say he didn't need that. We don't need black media that we got to pay $3,000 or whatever for. You remember that a few months ago, right? So yeah. I mean, how serious is the mayor when it comes down to this situation? I think something could be done on that issue because I heard him say that. And so, and me being on the communications committee, I came here to be a part of this. So I don't want to waste my time. If the mayor is saying he don't need any other media other than his own personal Snapchat and Facebook, stuff like that, we have a serious problem. I think so.
Well, you got 9 elected officials. The mayor is just like being a commissioner at large. He had 1 vote.
True.
And the will of the people is the strongest of it all. The people elect us. So when I say call your commissioner and voice your opinion, and they don't give you any satisfaction, that's when you go to the polls. When the next time you vote for them. So I believe we got the city manager involved in this, and that he's going to move forward with some of it. What we have to do is move forward, and I think that we are. I'm going to, after this conversation with Comcast, is really going to set us on fire, because it's going to give us information as to what we can get and what we can't.
Let me kind of also remind you, the first line of communication needs to start in here. All of the city commissioners need to be linked so that we can communicate back and forth. Those that don't have or use their emails need to have and use their emails and their telephones. When we ask for information, help on something, it's hard to get, because some are saying they're not getting the emails. So what we're doing right now is we're going to assign the tablets to each commissioner, and we're looking to get each commissioner telephones. city telephone, so they don't have to do business on your personal phone. Don't have to mingle your business with your personal life.
So
Well, that's a good step forward.
is there a timeline on that?
That timeline has been moving because we have been asking and we've not been getting responses.
But you can get through the chair, you can get new phones. You guys are gonna get new phones. So when is that gonna happen? So that's been my thought is all of them should be talking to each other, even if they're not looking at each other. They should be able to go three-way and have you on the phone, do all kind of things with phones, and phones been a problem, and nobody's been addressing that. And that's why I said, that's why I see the divide anyway, because it's like nobody wants to address that issue of having phones where everybody could communicate. Phones down, broken, everybody can't receive email, all of that stuff.
We've already sent out a questionnaire.
You got phones coming in the mail?
We've sent out a questionnaire asking for types of phone, choices of phones.
You did. Did you get an answer?
No.
I think our commission needs.
Well, I know at least 3 or 4 of us did. I saw the response. So 3 or 4 of us
Three or
did.
four might have.
And then the other ones, do you move forward anyway? If,
The council, go on.
do you
Say it
move
for-
forward anyway if 4 or 5 don't respond?
Council polices itself. You tell me what to do on it.
Why don't y'all tell him just get the phones for everybody? Wouldn't that just solve the equation?
Do we?
That would solve the equation if everybody, because when we got these, we didn't ask for them. They were brought for us and brought in here and said, this is yours. Thank you.
No training.
No training, no, it did nothing.
And then they came and took them back.
No, they didn't give it to us.
Stored them. Well,
They didn't give it
them.
to us. But that would solve the problem for real if we just gave all of us a phone
Yeah.
and trained us how to use it.
That's what we're going to do.
But you said there's a hiccup because the commissions are not responding to your inquiry.
That's correct.
So I would say just give us all the same phone.
Can I ask a question? Do the commissioners still get phones?
We should.
I mean,
We should. When I started in 2006, we had a BlackBerry, Blueberry,
Like that.
BlackBerry, and we were all on the same frequency. Of course, you know, after a while, those phones get old, and they went away. And as we changed the office, so we didn't have any after that.
also they stopped.
Right. EFM came through and it was no reason for one.
So my suggestion to city manager is to pick the best one and the best price and give it to us.
Oh, so you use your own phone, right?
So far, that's what most of us are using, our own phone.
And that's not good.
That's not good.
So as a citizen, can I request that you guys just go and find the phones you're gonna get, find the prices and all that. Gotta be cheap, right? So that's what it is. That's the sound of it to me. It gotta be cheaper or something. But just go on and get the phones. Just go on and get the internet set up. You got 5 or 6 commissioners was probably, when I say problem, because I don't know sometime about mean, just get it done. This is going on March. And how long we been talking about this? That's where the citizens down just watching. If it ain't one holiday every weekend, it's some other reason. And things are slow, and now it's time to pick up some speed. Can you help us pick up speed? Commissioners, city manager, can you help the city pick up a little speed? Please.
City manager can.
Okay, thank you. That's all I want to get. Somebody give me an answer.
That's my suggestion, Commission, the
Thank
city
you.
manager, is to
I'll
just,
finish that.
if it's 4 of us or 3 of us ask for an iPhone or whatever the phone is, and you get a great deal, and I heard it was a great deal that we were getting. I ain't too sure about the monthly payment, but, that's on you. But a great deal on the phone, then let's have the phones in our hand, and so we can start changing over and getting in sync with each other.
Well, I think all of you guys are top of the line, so I think all of you guys need some top of the line phones too. So you can get out of that how much it is thing and just get everybody a top of the line phone so the citizens can be attached to you guys at your hip. Is that how you guys say it? And just do it. It's almost March. Let me
Well,
reminding y'all.
as we look at our we got new telephone numbers, and I swear I didn't find out about it until I read the Benton Spirit that we had a new telephone number.
A new telephone number to where?
The commissioners have a new phone number.
Oh, so don't nobody have your phone number now?
Well, it was in the Benton Spirit. That's how I found out about it.
Don't
So we
read
do
the
need to be
Benton
spirit then.
Everybody don't read the Benton Spirit, and everybody don't read the city. Okay, but it's the truth. Everybody don't read the newspaper. Everybody don't watch the news on TV. Y'all gotta look out for us, knowing that fact.
Well, that's why we're working on these communication avenues, so we can have more than one way to communicate. And that's gonna be important. One way, all right.
Thank you.
That's it. Do you have any comments or any more questions? Next month, when we come back, we should have a lot of stuff to talk about because it'll be after the meeting with Comcast.
What's Comcast doing?
Huh?
You say you got a meeting with Comcast?
Yeah, we have a contract, a franchise contract. The city has one with Comcast. It started with Green Cable, and now it's Comcast.
Yeah, the idea.
Do I?
The meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
And you will have on the recording next.
You can take this back, maybe I'll be able to get your message.
Yeah, well, I was out there when I went to California. I tried to put it back in Oh, yeah.
Bottom line. They got an answer from nowhere.
Thank you again.
Yeah.
You've been on,
Yeah.
period.
This is going right. This is going right.
You get the mid-ride, so? No, that's just my latest ride. Okay, well, I told you.
I appreciate it.
I told you, anytime you need,
I know.
you got my assist.
Any work.
Thank you.
All right, y'all have a good night.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Jamie,
Yeah.
do you wanna go to the meeting with Comcast?